Alright, so today for the Sunday project at my workshop, we're going to make some shelving. Now, I've been wanting to do this for a long time, but I thought it'd be a good idea if I filmed it because I've had some friends actually ask me how to do shelving. And particularly the kind of shelving that you make yourself from scratch. I made these wooden brackets that are very, very simple. This is like the most basic project you could take on. So if you're new to woodworking or any kind of handyman stuff, this is a really good thing to get started on. These brackets obviously are made all out of wood. I use a 1x2 for the brace and then a 1x3 for the top and the vertical rail for the horizontal and the vertical. And then the 45 is a 1x2, this is a 1x3. It's a 1x3 pine. Now if you look over here, I've got all these scraps that I always keep. And the reason is, I've got some extra 1x3s that I'd cut and I just throw them in here and then I can go ahead and use these to make these brackets. You can make heavy duty brackets by using 2x4s if you have, surfboards or something. It's all the same exact technology. So let me just go ahead and get to it right now. I want to show you exactly how to do this. I've already pre-cut a couple of these. Now, for the shelving, you can get shelving that's already done. Right? Usually comes at like an 11.5 or 11-inch widths or 8-inch widths. I cut mine myself. This is a piece of plywood. It's real thick. All right. It's an exterior plywood that I used for the siding. It's a T111 product, and I'm just going to flip it over and use this. I made this 9 inches. All right. It's important that you understand that I'm starting with 9 inches because that's going to determine the measurement for each of those pieces. Okay. So whatever you're working with, we're working with 9 today. But you could be working with 10. You could be working with 6, 8, 12. Doesn't matter. We're working with 9. So that means that I'm going to cut one of the pieces of 1x3 9 inches. Alright, you can see it's going to be exactly the same, 9 inches. The other one, I'm only cutting 2, is going to be 8.5 inches. Right, it just works for me. 8.5 inches. Now, when you get these two pieces, the first thing you want to do is line them up properly. The 8.5-inch piece, the shorter piece, is going to be on the top. Got that? So it still remains 8.5. It doesn't make it 9.25, which is what would happen if I did this. It's still 8.5 from here to here. That goes on top. Now the way I'm going to do that, I'm going to assume you don't have any kind of compressors or nail guns or anything like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a little glue on here. I always put a little glue. And then before I nail this piece on top, I'm going to use a 4-penny finish nail. Right? It's a 4-penny finish nail. It's very simple. I'm going to take my hammer and I'm going to pre-start these, alright, so that they just start to come through on the other end. You see that? And I'm going to go ahead and do another one. This is a technique you can use with a lot of woodworking. I want you to also notice that I'm putting it on a slight angle, going in towards the wood. Alright, so they're both going on an angle. That'll give me, see that? Almost like antennas. That'll give me a little bit of a better bite. I can feel that one. Just take a piece of scrap wood underneath if you want like that and pull it right out. Okay, now when I go ahead and put it on top, that will grab and it'll keep it from moving as I nail. And if it's not right, just pull it out and readjust. Okay, and I'm going to get a good first whack. Always give a good first whack. And you don't have to set these nails in like you would if it was fine furniture making or something like that. These are just shelves for my wood shop or your garage or whatever. All right, now the next thing is going to be to put this brace on. This is a 1x2, so you see it's a little narrower. You can use a 1x3, 1x2 works fine. Be really careful here because it's real easy for this to drift from that 90 degrees. You could end up less or more than 90 degrees, and you don't want that. All right, you want your shelf nice and square. So, and simply by doing this isn't going to really make it happen. All right, so what you need to do is take something like a square. All right, see if you can get that in here so you can already see this gap. You see that gap? I'm not square. All right, I want to pull that in. That'll make me square. All right, so the best way to do this is to take your brace, just put it in there in a rough place. All right. Find the flat sides while it's square. You see that? While it's square. And then what I can do is take my pencil, see right here, take my pencil and make a mark right here and right here. Now I can relax, and when I nail this in, I just have to nail the edge to the line. I should also make a note that this is also 9 inches. From the edge to the edge is the same width as the board that of the shelf itself. All right, there you go. So I'm not going to worry about doing both at the same time. I'm just going to do the bottom. Now I'm going to put some glue on both edges. And before I nail this, I want you to do a pilot hole. Right? If you don't have a nail gun or a finish gun or a brad nailer, I want you to use a 1/16 inch drill bit, okay, as a pilot hole. I'm not too concerned. You're going to go in at an angle. I don't know if you can see that with me holding it here. You see I'm going in on an angle. And I'm not concerned about going into that 1x3. I just want to make a good pilot in this so it doesn't move. All right, and then I can stick my nail in there, start to tap her in. I'm not going to go all the way. I want to get the other one started. It'll also keep the wood from splitting. Makes it easier and it keeps it from splitting. And again, I don't have to set those nails in. It's not important. It's not fine furniture. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and do it on this side. Same thing. Make sure you get a good angle because you don't want to come through the back. I said I just started to drift. I'm going to keep it on that line. You could use brads. If you don't have 4-penny, you can get brads are fine for something like this. Tacking it in. Okay, and there's your bracket. All right, pretty simple. Now I'm going to show you how we can cut this.